The old house at the edge of the forest. In a small village hidden among dense forest, there stood an old house. Everyone knew about it. Almost nobody dared to go near it. The house stood alone on a hill several kilometers away from the nearest house, surrounded by dead-looking trees that seemed lifeless even in summer. The locals called it simply the house. Nobody remembered who had lived there last. Some villagers claimed that an entire family disappeared there in a single night. Others believe that the owner lost his mind after his wife passed away and never truly left the property again. But everyone agreed on one thing. After sunset, nobody should go there, especially in November, especially when the fog covered the forest. One year, a young journalist named Andrew arrived in the village. He was working on a series of stories about abandoned places and local legends. The moment he heard about the house, he became interested. The villagers tried to discourage him, yet nobody left when the old man in the village store gave his warning. "If you go there," the old man said, "don't stay after midnight." "Why?" The old man remained silent for several seconds. Then he replied, "Because after midnight, the house starts looking for new residents." The next day, Andrew followed the forest trail towards the hill. After nearly an hour of walking, he finally saw it. The house looked even worse than in the photographs. Broken roof, cracked walls, dark empty windows, but one thing felt wrong. The front door looked as though someone still used it. Inside, the air was strangely cold. A flashlight beam revealed dusty furniture, an old table, a rocking chair, a wardrobe. Everything looked as if the owners had stepped outside and never returned. In the living room stood a large clock. Its hands were moving. The clock showed 11:50 p.m. Andrew smiled, at least at first. Upstairs he found several rooms. One contained old toys, another had an antique bed. The third door was locked, and from behind came a faint scratching sound. Andrew pressed his ear against the wood. The sound stopped. Then he heard a whisper. "Help me." He hurried downstairs. Soon the footsteps began, slow, heavy, moving across the second floor, even though the house should have been empty. At midnight, the locked door opened by itself. Moments later, something began descending the staircase, step by step, slowly, watching him. The figure was tall and thin. Its face had no eyes, no mouth, and no features at all, only a smooth gray surface. The creature pointed towards the wall, and returned. Photographs now covered the surface, dozens of them, old and new. Each one showed a person standing beside the house. The final photograph was different. It showed Andrew himself, inside the room, taken only moments earlier. Andrew fled through a broken window and ran into the forest. He didn't stop until he saw the light of the village. But when the villagers searched for the house the next morning, it was gone. Only an empty clearing remained, as though the house had never existed. Years later, Andrew disappeared without a trace. The only thing left behind was an old photograph. The same house, the same window, and a faceless figure staring out from the darkness.